Hey, welcome to what week are we on? Week 17. So you're a sidetracked home executive. I love this because I think I say that about every week, but it is so true for even me. Many times I think about all of those things that I need to get done, and sometimes just, I don't have ADD or ADHD, but I squirrel and I go everywhere except for focus on that thing that I need to focus on. This week cracks me up because, and I think I say that a lot too, because it's talking about how it is so hard to keep things clean and beautiful and precise and exactly how you want it. In fact, before I even started this video today, I have been spending some time decluttering my office space here. I'm working on a few different sewing projects and was working through some of my stash and my fabric stash, and holy cow, it got me going in so many different directions. And then I reorganized larger pieces and you name it. And this may look like a lot of fabric up here. Oh, here, let me close this. I didn't do that last week. This may look like a lot of fabric up here, but this is not even half my fabric stash. This is my personal stash. This is that stash of, well, if I want to quilt something and want some nice big pieces, that's what's up there. Out in my garage, I have twice as many bins with smaller pieces of, I don't have anything, well, maybe I do. Stuff like this, or silks or such, for my business. And I love to make items that are Celtic inspired, and I sell at Celtic events like Highland games and things of that nature in my area, in my state, and I go a little bit north. But long story short, it's so easy for me to get sidetracked and work on those things instead of picking up after myself or even cleaning around the house. And the other thing that happens is life happens. I mean, I had a headache and I wasn't feeling well, or things are going on. She talks about a couple of really cute things. She had a group of friends where they were called the Messies, and it was based off of a book, The Messies Manual and Messy No More. And it was her way of connecting with other women who are also struggling with those areas that become messy. And this is the room that becomes messy. It's my office. It's my sewing room. This is where I do my personal Bible study. This is my workstation when I'm not cleaning or doing things around the house, or volunteering and doing things of that nature. And it was fantastic. It just cracks me up. There are so many great resources out there. The Fly Lady is one of them, and she is fantastic. I think we mentioned her in last week's lesson. She's wonderful and helps you kind of go, okay, choose these things. It's not that I hate cleaning, it's just not what I want to do. So Mondays are that day for me. That's when I do the laundry and I clean the whole house, and then I'm done. But if you can't do that, which it was harder when the kids were younger to be able to do that. When they were in school, I would then, of course, have the day. But I chose Mondays. They had a half day, and I knew I could get it clean in that time that they were in school. So that was awesome, and that forced me to kind of realize what I could and couldn't do. Now, once a month, I clean our linens and so on and so forth. And that's where I use my weekly dump list, where the first week of the month, I write down that's when I'm doing my linens. The second week of the month is when I usually take the dog to the groomer and get her bathed, and that's when I will clean her bedding. So I have those things written on there. We have a bathroom downstairs that does not get used very often, so I'm okay with cleaning that once a month. Whereas my bathroom upstairs needs to get cleaned every week. So that's the one I'm in charge of upstairs. My daughter uses the other one, so she's in charge of that one. So those are things that I kind of rotate, and that's when I deep clean and do what I need to do in those rooms. Now, you could make a list of every little detail you want to do, whether you're scrubbing at the windowsill, so on and so forth. Fly Lady's really great. She does stuff where she, with the toilet so it doesn't get bad, she does something called swish and swipe. And same thing, when you're done, brushing when you're done washing your face, just take that washcloth and wipe the sink out and wipe the countertop and so on and so forth, and then throw it in the dirty clothes. And then, I think she goes with just a one basket method. And she then takes that basket, because now it's probably full of, showering that morning, so on and so forth. She takes that downstairs or wherever, and she does that laundry, folds it, puts it away. So she's doing stuff every day, and it's amazing how she does that. Now, in the meantime, as I'm looking around, and you cannot see my desktop, but I've got some piles here of stuff. My blood pressure cuff, I need batteries in that. I've got my to-do list over here, my daily, what I'm doing, working on some mail and stuff, including some more fabric. An item that was returned from one of my mailings for my whatever. And then this last weekend we went away for the weekend, and my Bible study stuff. So I have stuff, and I have stuff over there. We're just gonna call it stuff, because there's just stuff right now. Lots of projects, lots of things to get through. So one of the things she talks about is how can you get rid of those clutters. Now there's, again, tons of stuff out there. Most people, right now, the biggest thing is the KonMari method, and I think that that's a great way of doing things, especially when you're attached to stuff, to be able to be thankful for its use. And I, as a Christian, I didn't. I'm gonna pull this fabric, because this is one of those things. I'm keeping this fabric for a reason. But what you do is you pick up that item, and you're undecided, right? Am I going to get rid of this or not? Well, I know what I'm going to do with this, but let's just pretend this is one of those things that I want to hold on to, because I hold on to things like this. And I look at it, and she thanks the item for the purpose and joy it brought her. And then she wishes it well, that it'll bring joy to somebody else. Well, I can't thank an object, because as a Christian, I don't believe that object has power. So what I would do instead, when I was deciding on something like that, is I would thank God. Thank you, God, for putting, this piece of fabric in my life for what I needed. In this case, it was something I used in my costuming. I can't use it anymore, and I just pray that it gives somebody else a little piece of joy, helps them with something that they're working on, and then I'm able to pass that off. So that's what I would do with her method. I have done that when I got stuck at one point. But there's also the 3-bag method that she uses, and I do use this a lot. I use it with boxes, or I use it with bins, or whatever I have around. And sometimes it's just a pile on my bed. It depends on what's going on. So it's when you go from room to room, and you've got the throw away, give away, and put away. And I really, really like that. And she says, to set a timer for like 30 minutes at a time. When that timer goes off, go put those things away. Go get them out of the way. Get rid of immediately into the car, so on and so forth. And that's another thing that a lot of us struggle with is, I could make money on this. Well, yeah, but unless you're going to take the time to take the pictures and post it and all that kind of stuff, and then invest in the packaging. So books are one of those things that I have a hard time just getting rid of. I list them because it's a little bit of money here and there, and it shockingly adds up. So this is a book that was, I don't know, $5 maybe when I got it, tops. And then when we were done with it, I went to see what the going rate for that item was and posted it on Amazon, and I think it sold for $14. So I'm making like $9 on it, which is nice. That's $9 I didn't have before. And these store nicely in a box out in my garage. And when something sells, I just go to my garage and I pull that out. And they're easy to mail. And because it's a book, I can send it media. So cheaper. Love that. So those are some things that I do. But clothing, I'm not going to do that. Breakables, not going to do that. So you have to decide for yourself. If you're not going to sell it, if you're not going to take the time and investment in doing that, then just get rid of it, because the anxiety that it can cause to hold on to that, and that clutter that's just going to be somewhere else, can be way too much. If it becomes way too much, it's not worth it. And so just get rid of it. Just bless somebody else with that. There are some other ones she talks about, one called the Mount Vernon method. And she says it's practiced by the cleaning staff of George Washington's estate in Virginia and described in Sandra Felton's books. Start at your home's front door and proceed around each room's perimeter, cleaning and clearing out clutter as you go. Eventually you'll make it around the entire house, whereupon it'll be time to start over. The most important thing about the Mount Vernon method is that you pace yourself and not overdo it, says Felton in the Messie's Manual. Don't start out too fast. You'll not be able to accomplish the method in a single day. It took me 3.5 months to Mount Vernonize my home. Now, this is something that I do, not necessarily cleaning, but just kind of decluttering. So this is kind of what I do on Mondays because I don't have small children, so I'm not dealing with a lot of messes and spills and things like that. I'm dealing with adults that come in and out of my home. So it's a completely different world today. The Mount Vernon method is a little bit easier method for me today than it was 20 years ago. So that's one of those things to think about. And so don't be too hard on yourself. There are some women with young children who can do this, and that's amazing that they can, but it doesn't make you any less amazing. So just remember that too. Do what you can. When I get into, like in my situation here, I'm going to do the 3-bag method in a sense. Get rid of, give away, or so throw away, give away, and put away. So that's what I do here. I make my piles and I then take care of it that way. But when I'm cleaning on Mondays, I go through, and my room is usually the one that I do the 3-bag method on because, again, that's another area that seems to accumulate, right? The other one she talks about here is the 27 fling boogie, and this is described on the website with Fly Lady. And it's FLYLADY.net. And also in a book called Sync Reflections by Marley Silly. I don't know how to say that. Where you grab a bag, and as quickly as possible, fill it with 27 items to throw away. Now this, excuse me, would be really hard for me because I throw trash away as I'm going. If anything, it's recycling. So it's like, okay, I came back from a little vacation. Do I really need to keep this any longer? What is it about this that I want to keep? And it might be that piece there, but I need to make that decision. And if I don't need it, then it needs to go recycle. So that's kind of what I deal with that type of thing. But she says in this, you're going to fill 27 items that need to be thrown away. And next time you have a spare 15 minutes, you set the timer, so on and so forth. This might be something that I would probably adopt, which I have with my kids. Just been like, okay, we're going to just pick up all the toys, and I might grab the laundry basket, which the laundry basket, oh my gosh, I love the laundry basket. It would be, okay, let's get all the toys in here, and then we'd collect all the toys, and then we would take them to their respective places, and we would put them away. So, I mean, I don't know how many toys that was, but it just is what it is. So regardless of what method you use, once you get rid of that extra stuff, which that is the key, the extra stuff, you're going to be amazed at how much easier it is to keep your house looking the way you want it. It's okay if it's not perfectly polished. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Today I got sidetracked with my fabric out in the garage, like I was saying, and I have bins. There's probably 20 bins out there of variety sizes of fabrics, and I struggle with those little pieces, and at one point I brought them in one bin at a time. Now half of them have the smaller ones in them, but one bin at a time, and over the course of 2 days went through. And while I was doing that, I decided, it was kind of the 3-bin method. It was, what am I going to keep in my spare or scrap for my Celtic events? What is no longer needed or doesn't belong in there for my Celtic events, but maybe needs to transfer over to my personal. And then the third one was, what is just trash? So there was a 3-bin method. There was actually a 4-bin because some of them I found were the larger pieces, and the larger pieces go elsewhere. So today I actually went out into the garage, and the last 10 bins I went through, I was able to organize them so that the colors are together. So all the black and gray and all the red and all that. So all those colors with the large pieces, and I took pictures of them. So I got very sidetracked today doing that. And in the process, I was able to downsize 4 large of my storage containers. I think 2 boxes and 2 of the very large, I don't know how big they are, 10 gallon, 20, I don't know, they're huge. They're just huge. They take up a huge space. And it wasn't that I threw out that much, because I did not throw out that much. And I did not, maybe a bin total that either was thrown away or put aside for my quilting items. And then the other 2, it was just consolidating them so that they fit nicer where they were at. So now they're protected out in my garage, so they're not going to get wet. No animals are going to be on them, nothing like that. So it will all just be fine. And as I need them, which starting next week I'm going to need them, I'm going to be able to launder them. So I launder them and then I cut, and I'm ready. But it is now bearable, whereas before I couldn't access them very well, and I really didn't know what I had. I knew I had a lot, but I didn't know which colors that I was in need of, or if I needed to find more, which I don't need to find more fabric. I have so much. Long story short, praying for you guys that you're able to conquer those mountains so that you can be content with where you're at, and be a good steward of what you have. And just want to encourage you and just remind you that we've all been there. Some of us still have those areas. But blessings to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.